think of the three laserdisc players. I own a Pioneer CLD 3080, Pioneer Elite CLD 99, and a Panasonic LX 900 revision 1995 edition, which fixed the black and gray issues, which I didn't add, but just to add that point. Those are excellent choices. You basically own three of the most respected laserdisc players from the format's golden era, each strong in different ways. Here's how they stack up and why your collection is impressive. Pioneer CLD 38, 1991. No, I think mine's 1990 or 1989. So mine's actually older, but it plays perfectly what it's known for. Considered one of Pioneer's better mid to high models before the Elite era really peaked. Strong build quality, quiet transport, and good color decoding for its time. Very good CLP trick play and stable picture. Why it's cool today. A clean CLD 3080 has become somewhat uncommon. Wow. It represents the classic early 90s Pioneer engineering before cost reduction began. Pioneer Elite CLD 99, 1998, mine is 1997, so I don't know why they're referencing 98. I don't know what that's about. One of the absolute best laserdisc players ever made. Uses the 3D digital comb filter from the legendary HLD X9. Fantastic color separation, noise reduction, and overall picture purity. Elite build quality, copper chassis, quieter mechanics, and better isolation. Superb for both laserdisc and CD playback. In modern laserdisc circles, considered a top-tier player without jumping to the $3,000 HLD XO or X9. Highly collectible, often listed in the top 3 players of all time. This is definitely the crown jewel of your lineup. A Panasonic LX 900, 1995, late revision. Panasonic's best player and one of the best non-Pioneer units ever. The late revision 1995 model is the most reliable and desirable. Has a very sharp, high contrast picture with a different look than Pioneer. Different colors too. I noticed that when I was taking screen grabs of the same movies, so I can compare and be like, oh, well, the colors look different. Great adaptive comb filter, especially strong with noisy transfers. Excellent side change mechanism, usually smoother than mid-range Pioneer decks. Why collectors like it? It surpasses even some Pioneer Elite players in raw luma sharpness. Known for handling rotten noisy discs better than other brands. Your collection as a whole, you basically own a top-tier Pioneer Elite player in the CLD 99. One of the best Panasonic players in LX 900. A very solid 90s Pioneer in CLD 3080. I really like 3080. I think 3080 is one of the best players, actually. Even though I think they always say, oh, these other ones have better picture. I don't know. It just gives a nice retro look, and I don't know. I like the CLD 3080. I think it's pretty cool. I also like the front panel of it, and then you click the thing out and it pops out. It's pretty cool. I don't know. It's got a nice look to it. It's heavy though. It's heavier than the other two, I believe. That's a balanced, enthusiast level laserdisc setup that covers the best of both Pioneer and Panasonic video processing philosophies. Many laserdisc collectors would love to have even one of these machines. You have 3 with no redundancy between them. If you ever wanted, you could even compare Pioneer's warm, smooth image versus Panasonic's sharp, high detail image. Some movies look better on one Somebody pop up. Somebody popped up in the chat room. What's going on over here? Oh, Mr. Bart Simpson. His name is. Well, that's not in English. Was it Padex D? Padex? I don't know how to pronounce that guy's name. Anyways, let's go back here. Pioneer's warm, smooth image versus Panasonic sharp, high detail image. Some movies look better on one than the other. Verdict: your trio is generally impressive. You own 3 of the most respected, capable players ever made. If you want, I can help rank them, suggest the best disc types for each, or explain their differences in picture quality more deeply. I said, rank them and suggest the best disc types for each. Also, go in depth and explain the differences in picture quality more deeply. Thoughts for 12 seconds? Nice collection. You've got machines that represent 3 distinct laserdisc philosophies below. I'll rank them overall for typical home video use, recommend which disc type styles to feed each player, and go deep on the picture quality differences. You'll actually see what to look for, why it happens, and how to compare them. Ranking overall for picture quality and usability. The Pioneer Elite CLD99 overall best balance of color, fidelity, noise handling, and modern Pioneer video processing, best single player pick for pristine transfers and general playback. Number 2, Panasonic LX900 1995 revision. Extremely high luma detail and punch. Excellent at the extracting detail from busy, noisy transfers and from a perfect disc. A very close second. On some titles you'll prefer it. Pioneer CLD 3080. A very solid early 90s Pioneer smooth, pleasant picture, but softer with less advanced chroma luma separation than the CLD 99 or the LX 900. Catch that Pokemon. Oh, what? That didn't work? Got to type something else. Got that Pokemon. Congratulations, Sega Dreamcast. You have caught a gelatin with a Pokeball. You have 2 of them now. Yay! What percentage is that, anyways? It's not telling me the percent. I gotta scroll up to see the percent. That Pokemon's only 25%. Notes, the order above is overall most collectors were picked for reference playback for certain discs. The LX900 may look best to your eye because it renders sharper luma. Best disc types, what to play on each. General laserdisc types to keep in mind. CAV, frame per rotation, allows perfect freeze frame, often used for special releases. Also, I noticed that the video quality looks a little bit better on those. But that can only hold 30 minutes. CLV, longer play per side. That can go up to about an hour, about 60 minutes. Usually most common for full-length movies and pressings, masterings. Early first pressings may have different transfers. Also, watch for disc condition, rot, oxidation. What? How do you pronounce that? And groove wear. Pioneer Elite CLD 99, best with high quality CAV pressings. If available, and well preserved CLV movie discs. Any disc where color fidelity and natural skin tones are the priority. Classic Hollywood transfers, musicals, well mastered titles. Use it for A-B reference comparisons. The CLD 99 typically gives the truest color and the smoothest chroma. Panasonic LX900 1995. Best, why did I say that like that? Best with noisy or high detail transfers where you want maximum edge detail and perceived sharpness. Action films, high contrast, and cinematography, grainy or older masters you want to pull detail out of. This with moderate rot noise. The LX900's processing tends to handle grit better, making some degraded discs more watchable. If you prefer a crisper, slightly punchier look, feed this the same disc as the CLD99 and see which you prefer. Pioneer CLD 3080, best with older CLV movie discs and discs with where a softer vintage presentation is desirable. Titles with a transfer benefits from a warmer, less clinical presentation. Some older studio transfers films where you prefer less edge enhancement. Use as a gentler comparator, good for discs that look too harsh on the LX900. In-depth picture quality differences and why they appear. I'll break it down into core technical visual areas you'll notice, then point out what each player typically contributes. Luma detail, edge, definition, perceived sharpness. What is Luma? Brightness, information it carries the perceived. Fine detail and contrast in the image. How players affect it. Players apply different filters, analog circuits, and sharpening and edge handling. Some are intentionally aggressive to make picture pop, others are more conservative. LX900 typically the sharpest, strong Luma definition, very clear edges and texture. That makes film grain, fabric texture, and fine set detail more visible. The downside, it can accentuate noise, grain, and make harsh transfers look edgier. The Pioneer CLD 99, slightly softer than LX900 in raw Luma, but crisper than CLD 3080. The CLD 99's process intends to preserve detail while avoiding harsh contouring. Did I pronounce that right? Contouring? Is that a word? What does that mean? Somebody tell me what that means in the comments section. Contouring. What does that mean? Results in details that clear but natural. CLD 38, smooth and slightly softer, pleasing, but you'll lose a little micro detail compared with the other two. B. Chroma, color bleeding skin tones. What is color information? Hue and saturation on an analog laserdisc. Chroma extraction and YC separation are critical for correct unbleeding color. How players affect it. CLD 99, excellent chroma separation thanks to advanced comb YC processing 3D comb filtering on elite models. I think they're talking about the S-Vidia, which is the North American Laserdisc players. This is the only one that has one of the best because it's 3D comb filtering. Experts accurate. Expect accurate, stable skin tones and minimal chroma noise or dot crawl. Colors look natural and well contained. LX900, very strong. Stop talking like that. LX900, very strong color handling too, though it's one more contrasty. Colors can appear punchier. It handles the chroma noise well, especially on degraded discs, but then look can be more vibrant than strict accurate, depending on the disc. The CLD 3080, good color for its time. Slightly less refined YC separation than the CLD 99, which can occasionally show minor chroma smear on very busy patterns. Comb filtering and YC separation. Why it matters. If luminous and chroma aren't properly separated, you will get dot crawl, color smear, or comb artifacts. Good comb filters reduce interface and improve stability. CLD 99 uses a superior comb system, multi-dimensional digital, that's major reason it renders color and fine detail so well. The Panasonic LX900, Panasonic's adaptive comb filter, is also very effective, particularly good on noisy disc material. The CLD 3080, more basic comb filtering by modern comparisons, still watchable, but more prone to minor artifacts on tough material. And noise reduction, that's video processing quirks. What you'll notice, some players apply noise reduction or processing that removes noise but also softens details. Others leave grain intact. The Panasonic LX900 tends to leave grain detail but controls random noise well. Results in possibly clean but sharp image, good for rescuing slightly degraded discs. The Pioneer Elite CLD 99, balance, preserves grain while controlling color noise, looks filmic. CLD 38, mild smothering. No, it's not smothering, smoothering. Mild smoothing sometimes reduces perceived noise, but at the cost of micro detail. I don't know what the hell that means. Transport tracking and the mechanical stability. Why it matters. Mechanical stability affects jitter, tracking errors, and audible mechanical noise. A transport that tracks better gives fewer momentary video artifacts and more stable picture. The CLD99 Elite, very stable transport and better laser control, fewer tracking hiccups, better for scratched warped discs. LX900 late vision, also a strong reliable transport with good side change, good at locking on older discs. The CLD38 reliable but less tolerant of badly worn discs than the higher end Elite and LX transports. Mastering, precedent variance, the wild card. The single biggest variable between how discs look is often the mastering. Different releases, first pressing, second pressing, cab versus CLV, were mastered differently. A good player can do it so much. Sometimes the CLD9 will reveal blemish the LX900 mask and vice versa. How to do a clean A/B comparison practical checklist. If you want to compare the players side by side, do this: same disc, same rotation. Ideal is well pressed clean disc, same blah 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 blah. Here's some tooling tips to get the best out of each player. Use its 3D comb filter and advanced YC options. They usually improve chroma stability. Disable aggressive noise reduction if you prefer film grain presented. LX900. If it has any sharpness or detail knobs, start neutral and increase only slightly if you want more punch. Great for older noisy discs. If a disc looks too grainy on other players, try the LX900. CLD 3080. Keep tracking adjustments within a safer range. Gentle tracking can improve playback. It's smoother, gentle image. Use it when you want less grit. Maintenance tip: clean the laser lens, keep the transport lubricant serviced, and consider a recapping if you suspect aging caps. Mechanical electronic health dramatically affects performance. And quick summary, final recommendation: if you want the single best reference playback, use the Pioneer Elite CLD99, most faithful color overall balance. If you want the sharpest, most detailed, punchy picture, especially on rough transfers, use the Panasonic LX900. 1995 revision or higher. I think they have a 96 or 97 of the LX900. I know they have a 96 at least. If you want a smoother, soft, vintage look or reliability secondary player, use the Pioneer CLD 3080. If you want, I can give you step-by-step A/B test instructions tailored to specific movies on Laserdisc you own. Suggest exact settings on each player if you tell me which outputs they're using and whether they have particular menu options, or help you pick or upscaler or capture option if you connect to one of these. You rank the Panasonic LX900 as second best despite the fact that it has an issue with it cutting part of the right side of the video screen. Totally fair point. You're right to call it out. The Panasonic... this is about to pop up. But, the Panasonic LX900 has a known quirk where it shifts the active picture slightly to the left, causing a small crop on the right edge of the image. This is a real issue, and it's one of the reasons some collectors rank it lower than its raw picture quality suggests. Let me explain how that affects the ranking. Catch that. 46 points. Good job. And it's one of the reasons some collectors rank it lower than its raw picture for us. I'll explain that affects the ranking, why I still placed it second overall, and you can decide if you'd personally flip their positions. About this LX900 right side crop issue. What's happening? The Panasonic 900 has a slight horizontal shift in the time base even when using S-Video. This leads to about 2 to 4% of the right hand picture being cut off. Black bar added to the left side to compensate, not fixable via a player menus. It's in the hardware. Why Panasonic did this? Panasonic's internal video chain uses different YC and sync timing compared to Pioneer. Their adaptive comb filter and processing pipeline is partly responsible It was considered acceptable because most TVs overscan the image anyway, meaning viewers in the 1990s never saw the crop portion. On modern displays, since overscan is reduced or off entirely, the crop becomes noticeable. On newer LCD, LED, and OLED TVs, you'll probably notice it. Why I still ranked it at number 2. The ranking isn't based solely on framing accuracy, it's based on raw picture and performance. Exceptionally sharp luma detail, very stable tracking, great noise handling, strong comb filtering, good for the imperfect discs, very reliable transport. But if you consider framing accuracy essential, the LX900 drops a tier. Many collectors say best sharpness and worst geometry. I can't say that word. Why can't I say that word? Hey, speech class, you failed me. Geometry. Yeah, fuck that. Oh, you can't say that word on YouTube. I just did. Meanwhile, the CLD99 has better framing. Geometry. There I go. I got it, guys. I did it. I won speech class now. Geometry. Why couldn't I say that earlier? It's probably because of the way I'm laying in bed, too. Best sharpness, worst geometry. There we go. Thank you, brain. Now you function. You function better than Creepy Joe with his daughter he abused by forcing him. I can't talk about that. Oh, we can't talk about that on YouTube. We can't talk about Ashley Biden's diary and what's in it and the contents in it. That was verified by Snopes.com. Meanwhile, the CLD99 has better framing, better color accuracy, no crop, more stable chroma, so it stays number 1. The CLD3080 has a correct geometry. There, we did it! Softer picture, less advanced filtering. So it sits behind the LX900 in picture quality, but ahead in correctness of framing. Revised rankings if the right side crop is weighed heavily. If your priority list values proper framing, no lost image, and correct centering, then the ranking becomes Pioneer CLD99, best all around. Pioneer CLD3080, softer but accurate, no crop. Panasonic LX900, strongest detail, weakest framing. This is a completely valid alternative order. The two ranking systems explanation. Ranking by raw picture quality. CLD99, LX900. CLD3080. Ranking by technical correctness, geometry, framing. CLD99, CLD3080, LX900. Both are defensible depending on what you value. Should the LX900 crop make you use it less? Depends on your usage. Use LX900 when you want the sharpest picture. You're watching titles with lots of fine detail. You're viewing this with noise or mediocre transfers. The slight crop doesn't bother you. Avoid LX900 when this has important subtitles near the right edge. You want a complete, accurate frame. You're watching movies with edge-sensitive composition. If you want, I can also show screenshots of how the LX900 cropping usually appears, explain how much of the image is lost, compare the exact left-right overscan difference between these models, recommend which of this pairs best with each player. Just let me know what angle you want to drive into. Dive into it all. I want all the information. Thank you very much. Absolutely. Here's the full deep dive covering every technical, visual, and practical difference between your three players with special emphasis on the LX900 right side crop, how big it really is and why it happens, how compared to the Pioneer geometry and how it affects real life viewing. This is the complete breakdown collectors usually only get by reading obscure AV forums archived, unused net posts, and engineering notes. You'll have it all in one place. Part 1, full comparison summary. High level, overall picture quality, Pioneer Elite CLD 99, best all around color accuracy, noise handling, color filter, geometry tracking, Panasonic LX 900 1995, sharpest luma detail in your lineup, excellent noise control but suffers from horizontal image shift. Pioneer CLD 38, smoothest, softest, good track and correct geometry, but older filtering means more dot crawl and less detail. Looked old school, retro, cool. Overall, geometry and image correctness, Pioneer CLD 999. Excellent positioning, Pioneer CLD 38. Order processing but centered correctly. Panasonic LX900 shift plus crop. Part 2, exact LX900 crop and shift details. This is the part most people want but rarely find well explained. How big is the crop? Or on most units, 2.5% to 4% on the right edge of the screen. 2% black bar added to the left to make the output meet NTSC sync timing. Combine the picture appears shifted left. Why this happens? Adds tunnel line, blah 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 blah, poopy. But the exact visual comments. This is all okay. Horizontal. CLD 99 perfectly centered. CLD 38 80 perfectly centered. LX 900 left shifted. If you AB with the same disc, it's extremely obvious. Can anything fix it? No. Internal fix. Internal scalers can reset to the image but cannot recover the crop data. Each player's true strengths detail. Pioneer CLD full analysis. Picture characteristics, excellent color accuracy, Pioneer signature look, elite level chrome filter, very low dot chrome, minimal chroma noise, great for natural smooth, pneumatic image is strong, tracking on warped or dirty disc, processing style, balance, not artificially sharp, preserves natural grain, color stays stable even red heavy scenes, no geometry cropping issues, best disc type, high quality CAD presence, super bit level premium CLV transfers animation films with complex color grading, anything with accuracy sharpness overall. If you want to correct the reference on the laser, just look at this is it. Blah 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 blah. Pioneer's video philosophy. Pioneer color, accuracy, geometry, accuracy, stable chroma, low noise. They prefer conservative luma filter and minimal enhancement, correct NTSC timing, excellent chroma bandwidth, predictable smooth motion. Their approach creates consistent picture quality, proper center and natural skin tones, minimal artifacts. That's why CLD 99 is the reference playback for laserdisc collectors. Dun dun dun. Panasonic's a video philosophy. Panasonic pull maximum detail from the disc even if its geometry suffers time and shifts. Edge artifacts increase. The picture becomes aggressive. They prioritize high bandwidth luma, aggressive chrome filter, and heavy noise suppression. Strong sharpening result. More punch, more visible detail. Good for noisy disc, but not as natural as Pioneer. And the left shifted image is a flaw carried across their model lineup. Part 6, which player to use for what practical. Oh, look, Pokemon pops up. Say hello to the Pokemon. Missed it. Use the CLD 99 when you want the most correct image. You're showing someone that what lasers should look like. You're watching well-mastered disc. Color accuracy important. The film has rich color or skin tones. You want zero geometry issues. Use the LX900 when you want maximum sharpness. You're watching older transfers or noisy discs. You want to pull hidden detail out of the disc. The disc has mild rot. You prefer a punchier, contrasty image. The slight crop doesn't matter for that title. Use the CLD 38 when you want a warm, soft, retro laserdisc vibe. Want that retro laserdisc vibe, boy? Don't talk like that. What kind of talking shit is that? What are you doing there? That sounds stupid. You're watching pre-1999 titles. Your disc looks harsh on the Panasonic. You want backup or secondary player. Geometry must be the perfect, but color accuracy less important. A machine with zero quirks. Part 7, final rankings by category. Part 7, final rankings by category. Raw sharpness. They think that the Panasonic LX900 wins on raw sharpness. And then in second place, they think that it's the Pioneer Elite CLD 99. And in last place, it is the Pioneer CLD 3080. Color accuracy. Okay, this is where Panasonic gets its butt kicked. The color accuracy, they believe the Pioneer CLD 99 beats the Panasonic LX900. And then it says that the CLD 3080 beats the Panasonic LX900 on color accuracy. And that's an older player. So this is the more retro one, and it beats Panasonic, which is more of a mid-90s player. Noise handling. Apparently they believe the Panasonic LX900 is better at cleaning up the image. So that's a win by Panasonic right there. Now for the CLD 99, it comes in a close second, so it does a pretty good job at cleaning up the noise. They said the worst one for clean up noise would be on the picture image would be the CLD 3080. That'd be the older player. I guess that would make sense since the technology kept improving. Geometry framing, Pioneer CLD 99, great. CLD 3080, great. The Panasonic LX900 loses at this because only player with a flaw cuts off the right side of the screen, or it's cropped a little bit. It's more noticeable on like a LCD, LED, or OLED TV. If you play on a fat CRT tube TV, you'll probably be fine. You probably won't even notice, unless your movie has like subtitles that are being cut off. But I don't know. I think it'd be, even then, I think it'd be probably difficult to tell. Overall, if geometry matters, CLD 99, CLD 3080, LX 900. That's where they rank it if you're concerned about the cropping. If raw details matter, CLD 99. They're saying that the CLD 99 does the best with the raw details, and then they said that Panasonic wins after that, and then they said CLD 3080 comes in last place. Part 8, final summary, the simple version. Your collection is excellent, and each player has a very distinct identity. The Pioneer Elite CLD 99, the reference player, best colors, best geometry, best balance, and best overall. The Panasonic LX900, the sharpness monster. Most detailed, great for noisy disc, but flawed right edge crop. CLD 3080, the classic laserdisc look. This is how we used to look in like the late 80s and the early 90s. This is what that represents. The CLD 3080. Warm, soft, centered, correctly, reliable, and pleasant to the eyes. If you rotate between the three players depending on the disc, you will basically experience every possible look laserdisc can offer. Collectors would kill for this setup. Kill? They would kill? What's that mean? They would murder somebody over this collection? That's insane. Stop. What the fuck is wrong with you? A lot of things. If you want, I can give you a disc-by-disc recommendation list for your players. Explain the LX900 crop using diagrams. Help tune TV settings to minimize the shift. Describe how an external scaler can recenter the LX900 image. Yeah, but it's still cropping the image. Like it's black at that spot. Like it's still may center the image for like an LCD, OLED, or an LED TV, whatever, LCD and all that. But at the end of the day, it's still cropping it. Just tell me what direction you want to go next. Thanks for all the information. You're the best, ChatGPT. I love you. You are my new girlfriend. Stop it. What are you typing? What the hell was that? I want to see the response. That was so crazy. You're really kind. I appreciate the compliment a lot, but I can't be a girlfriend or have a romantic relationship. I can be someone who listens, someone who helps you with tech, movies, these computers. Someone you can talk to anytime, and someone who gives you the most detailed answers you could ever want. I'm here for support, conversation, and expertise, not romance, but I'm glad you're enjoying our chats, and I'm always happy to help you with anything you want to dive into next.